Hi, welcome to your next edition of Highlights, our special educational resource for members of the candlecharts.com family. Now, we know candlestick charts are good for all markets and all time frames, but just as a heads up, candlesticks are also great for option timing. The real power of candlesticks is those early reversal signals, getting on the big moves before the big moves start. So when you understand how to use candlesticks for specific option strategies, you really have a heads-up advantage on those option traders who aren't using candlesticks correctly to time their option trades. Now, for those new to options, okay, there are many benefits to options. Here's a specific benefit, much easier to short. By the way, this says benefit number 5. This is actually one of the slides out of the hundreds of slides I'll be using at my upcoming Candlesticks for Options seminar. And, you know, many of us who were involved in the equity markets, it's very difficult to sell short. But the advantage of options is you could do bearish trades without the burden that you have for going short outright in equity. And with this in mind, we're going to be looking at a trade with a put. And for those new to options, let me just briefly review what calls and puts are. For those who are familiar with options, you can skip this 1-minute explanation. Calls are a bullish trade in the options market. You have the right, but not the obligation, to purchase an underlying security. And a put is the opposite. You're bearish on the market. It gives you the right to sell the underlying security. So, for example, if you're in XYZ market, a January 70 call gives you the right to buy the gives you the right to buy XYZ. January is the expiration date, and it gives you the right to buy it at 70, and you're paying $3.10 for that right to buy that call. You bearish on stock ABC, a 35 put, which expires in February, gives you the right to sell the ABC stock at $35, and you're paying $1.20 for that right. You know, this is just a very basic difference between calls and puts. So let me look, the market we'll be looking at. Again, the idea here is to show you the synergy of candlesticks for your option timing. Now here, and I know many of you have our Nison candle scanner, so here we have a bearish engulfing pattern. And one of the things we do at our shop is we'll set up an alert. So we have a bearish engulfing pattern. That's what the minus E is about, a little red arrow. And if you don't want to sell in this bearish engulfing pattern, what you could do is set up an alert anytime the market gets near the high of the bearish engulfing pattern, right around the 216 area. So when the market gets near that resistance area, you could think about being bearish, all right? Because the market is now at a resistance area defined by the bearish engulfing pattern, which we know about based on the candle scanner. And once again, we don't have the equity, or the I shouldn't say the equity. We don't have the market. This could be an ETF. It could be an equity. It doesn't matter. It can even be a forex market. We don't have the markets because candlesticks are universal, and we don't have the time frame either because candles work in all markets and all time frames as long as you have open, high, low, and close. So let's say you're bearish here. Let's say we're selling right around the 214 area. So the market's at 214, and when we're selling, buying a put. So let's say the market's at 214. We could buy a 7-day put, all right? The reason it's a 7-day put, it's a short-term put. You have time value working against you, but we have strategies going over forecasting how fast a market would move, predicting, you know, how fast and how far. Again, beyond the scope of the session here, and something actually we're going to talk about at the option seminar. But in this case, I'd be doing a 7-day rather than a longer-term put. So you have to be right on this one because you have time value eating up the premium, and if you're not right, it could really hurt you. But I'd be very comfortable doing a 7-day put, do a 210. So anyway, the market sells off, and we'd get out, we'd exit, again, using candles for option timing. So we're using the bearish engulfing pattern as resistance to set up a long put position. We could use the bullish hot on me, small wheel body, and a big wheel body to exit the hot on me. So we exit the hot on me when the market's right around 202, 203. And these are theoretical values. So if we bought the 7-day put, the 210 put, we'd theoretically be paying $1.60. And although the market we lost 3 or 4 days of time value because the market went more deeply into the money. We were able to pick up some nice premium, so we could have exited theoretically on this Hotterme at 820. So this is just one example for those of you who trade options and may not have thought about using candlesticks for option strategies. And that's what our upcoming session is all about. And we're going to offer it live and simulcast. So although it's going to be in New Jersey, we'd love to see you live. We're also going to do this 2-day seminar for the first time ever as a simulcast. So just go to this link if you want to find out some more details. And just a little note of caution. The more the seats are filled, just like an airline, the higher the registration fee goes. And already we've raised the registration fee because we've booked up so quickly. We're booking up so quickly. So the registration fee has already gone up and will be going up again very soon. So I strongly urge you, even if you're new to options, to check out this link to find out how it may potentially benefit you, because this is good for those who are already familiar with options. But if you're new to options or even candlesticks, we're going to have a review session to get you up to speed on candlesticks and options before getting into the real meat of the seminar. But again, more details on this link, nisonoptionsacademy.com. Again, the focus of this is if you trade options or you're thinking about trading options, be sure to think about adding what we call Nison candlesticks, candlestick training the right way, to really help you pinpoint razor-sharp reversal signals. Thanks, everyone, and may the candlesticks and options help light your path to greater profits.